Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, this almost blew up my account. Today I'm going to record a quick BingX copy trading tutorial for you, and I want to just focus on one specific thing that almost blew up my entire account. Thankfully, it worked out in my favor. I'm going to show you exactly what happened, and I caught an error that I made. This isn't the fault of BingX or any particular trader. Many of you know that I have been working towards earning a completely passive income of about $5,000 per month with BingX, and I just happened to look at my account. I was monitoring my traders this morning, and I saw that, wait a minute, one of my traders had earned way too much money based on their current risk profile. This is somebody who only earns about 30 to 40% every 6 months, and I was showing him, which is, like, 2, 3, 4% a month, and here I am seeing him earn about 8 or 9% in a single day. That's right. I had like a little over $3,000 on this guy, and I was seeing that he had a daily earnings of like 200 and something dollars, 220 something dollars, and I was like, what in the world? How is that possible? And I got to looking at the trader and realized, oh my goodness, I had a setting, and if that trade would have went against me, it would have caused my entire account to blow up. So what is the setting? I'm going to show you right now. We'll come to copy trading. Let's see. I'm using this trader right here. As you can see, I've copied this trader. And now here's the thing. As you can see, he does 31% right now ROI every 180 days. So roughly that's like 62, 64% every year. That's the idea. And he has a 93% win rate. He's had a couple of weeks where he's had losses. Most weeks he makes money. Low, look at this, over 180 days, he's only had a 6.83% drawdown in a single day. That basically means that he did not lose any more than about 7% in a single day. He's never had a losing week. He's never had a losing month, and he's been trading for 253 days. By the way, this is not financial advice. I'm not encouraging you to follow NRG. I'm not encouraging you to copy trade or check out BingX. By the way, BingX did not sponsor this video. I use BingX. I do have an affiliate link for BingX down in the description if you want to check them out. However, please understand, this is just my journey, and I made a mistake. I was originally recording this video. I was going to only send it out to my list. Those that are following my journey from $500 to $5,000 per month copy trading. And I realized, you know what? There are other people online and other viewers and other subscribers on YouTube that very well could be using BingX but are not following my journey. And it's very possible that they could have made the same mistake because it was a very, very, very simple oversight. So let me show you what happened. So I was over here with BingX, and what I had done is I had, let me see, view orders. Let me stop copying. I'm gonna take a loss here, but that's okay. Stop copying. Confirm. Confirm. Now let me show you. I'm gonna wait for it to stop uncopying here, and I'm gonna show you what I did. It's kind of crazy actually, and it's just a very simple mouse click, clicking the wrong thing, view orders. So it's still doing those sell orders. This will change to copy in a moment, and once it does, let me see. All right, so now I'm no longer following him. So here's the thing. There's 2,000 people following him, and here's what I did. I came over here to copy. By the way, I do not recommend that you just show up and start copying anyone randomly, just so you know. I would not recommend that. It's a good way to lose money. You want to be careful over here. But NRG, by the way, I want to say this. I'm not endorsing that you necessarily use NRG. I'll put a link in the video description if you want to get to this page so you can check it out. NRG is one of 4 traders I'm currently following. I'm about to add a 5th, and it's based on my current risk profile. So I diversify among my traders, and I have various traders. I have some that are more risky, some that are less risky. So he's just one of 5. I would not recommend just following any one trader blindly or exclusively. So, and by the way, even if they say they trade conservative, doesn't always mean they do. You got to be careful. So come here. Here's where I made my mistake, and I did this the end of last week, and thankfully I caught it this morning, and thankfully none of his trades went against me because it could have messed me up bad. Even though it would not have messed if I was following him properly, it would not have messed me up. But because I made this mistake, it could have screwed me up bad. So click copy. This is what you normally do. It defaults to fixed margin. Copy by fixed margin. Place a fixed margin that you set for each copied order, regardless of the trader's order margin. That means if he uses $5, I can set it to $3,000. But if a $5 trade goes against you with 50x leverage, then you're going to be fine if you have $3,000 available. But if you have a $3,000 order, which is exactly what I did, I had this entire amount being used. It would have taken one trade to move against me by just a little bit, and it could have blown my entire account. It would have essentially margin called my account or liquidated my $3,320. That's the mistake I was making. What I usually do with all my other traders is do position ratio trading. If you look at number 2 here, copy by position ratio. Allocate a certain amount of margin to copy the position ratio of the trader's copy trading account. The margin amount will depend on the trader's position ratio, and it's not a fixed value. So let me show you what that means. If I come over here to position ratio, how much do I want to have in the account? I'm going to say I want 3,220.17. And this is, by the way, I have almost $12,000 in here. So this is just a certain amount that I have left available that I'm putting on NRG trading. Now, what this does is, I think his account's at $10,000. So if he was hypothetically to use $1,000 out of his account, that would be 10%. It would not pull $1,000 out of here and use it. It would pull $332 or 10%. So whatever dollar amount he uses for his trades, it doesn't matter, which he usually is like, $5 or $10 or something. But what it looks at is what position size does he have? Is his trade using 1%? Then it will use 1% of mine. If his trade's using 10%, it will use 10% of mine. It just matches the percentage ratio based on how his account size versus this size right here. Obviously, he's 3 times larger than I am. So if he uses $10 to place a trade, I'm probably going to use, closer to $3 to place a trade, for example. The mistake I made was I was sitting at fixed margin and I had all of this lined up, which makes sense. I ended up getting a notification. I noticed over the weekend I was out of town at a business conference over the weekend, and I happened to see a notification that said one of my trades didn't get taken. I didn't know what it was about. I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. I thought it was no big deal, and I just figured maybe it was some random trade. Maybe there was a lot of slippage. I didn't pay attention to it. Well, now I know it's probably because the all of this freaking margin was being used. If he opened up a second trade, it couldn't take a second trade because it couldn't use $3,000 again on the second trade. I was very lucky that I didn't blow up my account, and I don't want you, whether you're using BingX or any other platform, be very, very careful when copying traders by fixed margin versus position ratio. Now, when you're copy trading, there's a lot more that you need to know to be successful. You cannot just use any high risk trader who's making a lot of money. You need to be very careful with who you're using. You need to understand the risk profile. There's a lot of things to look at, and you've got to kind of balance out your risk. So just be very, very careful no matter what. If you want to kind of let me make sure I copy him now. There we go. So now he's one of my copy traders. And it already started the position, and the position is down a little bit. Not too worried about that. So there we go. So now I'm copying him, and you can always increase funds. This is exactly what I do normally when I bring funds in. You come to increase. Now I don't have really anything to increase with. Oh, I got $16. I could use that. I won't worry about that later. I don't know how I have $16 there, but that's fine. I'll add that later. Typically, every Friday, I consider bringing in funds, and I take those funds at that point in time, and I take those funds and I increase, my holding position every single week, usually, and definitely every single month. Those of you that are subscribed to my journey, you know that I send out about 1 to 4 emails every month giving you updates. I'm going to start sending out spotlights. I'm going to start taking various traders on the BingX platform. Some of them I'm using, some of them I'm not using, and just kind of discuss what I like about each individual trader, what I like about their track record, what I don't like about their track record, what I'm looking at, why I would consider using them, why I wouldn't consider using them, that sort of thing. So if you find that useful, then make certain that you check those emails that are going to be going out. Those of you that are following my journey, I more or less, I just want you to be careful. I don't necessarily, obviously, if you use BingX, if you use, anything like that, I'm going to be making an affiliate commission, but it's less about you, getting started with BingX and me earning affiliate commissions. It's really more about you just being careful. I would rather you just watch my journey and take it slow and be very, very careful, manage your own risk. I don't need to encourage you to follow me, do what I'm doing. I don't need your affiliate commissions, to make a living or anything like that. If you're using BingX, I would appreciate you using my affiliate link, but don't feel like you have to, ladies and gentlemen. I just thought it was so important that I point out, be very, very careful on which option you choose once you start copy trading one of the traders over here on BingX or any other platform. Make certain that you choose position ratio when you mean to use position ratio, And don't choose position ratio if you don't want to use position ratio. Just be very careful with that. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Passive income is the best kind of income. And if you agree with that, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button, click the bell notification icon, and click all. I plan to bring you more crypto copy trading tutorials here on BingX. You're not going to want to miss it. Thank you for watching.